This video is part of Curryway's Ultimate Guide to Minecraft Speedrunning. This guide goes into the best way to get started with speedrunning Minecraft. Of course, not everything here is necessary, but the goal here is to put you on the right path to improve and get good at the game. If at any point something doesn't work for you, please check out the Ultimate Guide linked below, or join the Minecraft Java Speedrunning Discord server and ask for help in the public help channel. So this video is going to cover setting up Minecraft version 1.16.1, which is generally the fastest and most competitive version for any % random seed glitchless. This is also the version and category that MCSR Ranked is based off of. Now the first decision we need to make is what launcher to use. Now, I would highly recommend using Prism Launcher. It's easy and fast to get started, it works on all major operating systems, and includes lots of useful features. Notably a built-in Java installer so we can update Java for better performance and compatibility. Here are the other legal launchers for speedrun.com and MCSR Ranked. If you're using one of these, then that's fine, however this video is only going to cover Prism. Go to prismlauncher.org to download and install Prism. Then once it's finished, make sure Run Prism Launcher is checked and then click Finish. And then just follow the simple setup steps. Choose a language, choose a theme, and then sign in to your Microsoft account. Once you reach this screen, it's time to set up the game with the allowed speedrunning mods. Head to the mod list website linked below. Now if you're on macOS, make sure to select macOS here. Then click Select Recommended. If you're planning on playing MCSR Ranked, scroll down and select it. Note that any runs performed with the Ranked mod installed will not be eligible for submission to speedrun.com. I'll go over the best way to create two separate instances for Ranked and speedrun.com at the end of the video, if you plan on playing both. Also note that MCSR stands for Minecraft Speedrunning, and the Ranked mod is named MCSR Ranked, which might be a bit confusing. Now, click Download Mod Pack. Once this file finishes downloading, drag it into Prism Launcher and press OK. If you ever need to update the mods in your instance, simply re-download the mod pack with your chosen mods from the website again. Then in Prism, right-click your instance, go to Edit, then Modrinth. Here, click Update from File, and locate the new mod pack file you just downloaded. Now right-click the instance and go to Edit, then Settings, then Java. Here, check the Java installation box, then the Skip Java Compatibility checks box. Now click Detect. We want to use a version of Java between 17 and 22. So in my case, I can just select this version and I'm good. If you don't have a suitable version here, close this window and click Open Java Downloader. Here, uncheck Recommended. Then, go to Java 21 and select whatever version is listed here and click Download. After this, go back to Detect. You should have a new version of Java here to choose from. Once you're set up here, close this window and finally double-click on your instance to launch the game. If you chose to install Ranked, just go through and do as it asks. Update the mod and relaunch the game if necessary, until you reach this screen. Then go back to the title screen. Once we're here, go to Options. You should see this Book and Quill button here in the corner. This is where you can configure a lot of the mods you have installed. The one mod you should definitely understand here is StandardSettings. Basically, whenever you create a new world and start a run, StandardSettings will revert your in-game settings to the values set here. This means you save time you would otherwise be spending making sure that your settings are correct before each run. So if you want to change a Minecraft setting, you should go to Standard Settings and change it here. If you'd rather not have your settings reset every time you make a new world, you can toggle certain settings off with this button on the right here, or you can just turn standard settings off entirely. If you decide to switch it off, change any Minecraft options you want where you'd usually find them, rather than here in Standard Settings. Standard Settings also features a few extra settings if you scroll all the way to the bottom. You can turn these on and configure them if you want. One setting you should toggle to on here is F3 pause on world load. This will greatly improve the visibility of the seeds as shown in the next section. If you're having a hard time looking for something specific, you can press Ctrl F to search all of your settings. On the topic of game options, let's go through a few you should change. Disable auto jump, all of your hotbar slots and the toggle perspective hotkey should all be easily reachable. In the text guide below, there's some more information about how you can set optimal hotkeys. Also check your audio settings, specifically enabling subtitles. In video settings, max frame rate should be unlimited. Note that we will be setting a more specific maximum later with a separate tool. Turn VSync off, view bobbing off, GUI scale to the max number it'll go for you, in my case it's 4. Brightness 500%. Make standard settings ignore reverting the full screen option entirely with the rightmost button here. Note that actually playing in full screen will be better for performance and input lag. Turn particles to minimal, and entity distance to 500%. Now, if you chose not to install MCSR Ranked, you should also understand the SeedQueue mod. SeedQueue will generate multiple worlds at the same time, and display this grid or wall of seeds for you to pick from. You don't have to set this up just yet, but it's highly recommended when you begin to take the game more seriously and choose to spend your time only playing faster seeds. To set it up properly, first we'll find some baseline settings for your computer. This is best done by going to Prism, right-clicking your instance, selecting Edit, and then copying your log. If you don't see the log here, make sure that the game is open first and then check again. Now visit the SeedQueue settings website link below, and then paste your log into this box, and click Recommend Settings. Now if you've done everything correctly, you should get this list of information here. Go back to your game, and then in SeedQueue, set these first 3 values to what it says on the website. So in my case, max queued seeds goes to 30, max generating seeds 6, and on the wall 18. The rest of the SeedQueue options are explained if you hover over these labels on the left. Some options you should change include max world generation %, change that to about 15%. Resume on filled queue should be on. Use wall screen should be on. And just here, bypass wall screen should be on. Now back in Prism, again right click your instance and go to Edit. Then back to Settings and then Java. Now check the checkbox for memory and change maximum memory allocation to what is given on the website. So for me, it's 9500. And lastly, on the website, copy the string of text here underneath Java arguments. And then back in Prism, check Java arguments, and then paste the text here. Note that the website also gives you some more tips to improve your performance. You can follow that if you wish. Now that we've changed your instance settings, close and reopen the game. Now from the title screen, click the button with the gold boots to begin a speedrunning session. Once the world's finished loading, you should see these timers here in the corner. RTA is the complete real time from start to finish, and IGT is the time excluding any loading screens or pauses. For most runs, IGT is what's important. To reset the current seed, press F6 on your keyboard. Now, if you set up SeedQueue, this will bring you to the wall screen. From here, hover over a seed with your mouse and press L to lock it. Then press T to reset each other seed. Notice that the locked instance stays. Basically, the idea is to lock promising seeds and reset everything else. When you're ready to play a seed, wait till it finishes loading and press R on it. To leave the wall and get back to the title screen, press Escape. From within a seed, to get back to the title screen, go to Options, and then Stop Resets and Quit. If you'd like to change any of the hotkeys you use on the wall, go back to the SeedQueue settings, and go to Key Bindings. If you'd like to change F6 from resetting the current seed, go to Standard Settings and search for Create New World. If you want to learn more about SeedQueue and how you can use and customize it, check out the SeedQueue wiki linked below. Resetting is a very important and time-consuming skill, and as your target time improves, it becomes exponentially more crucial. More about resetting is covered in the overworld section of the ultimate guide below. Now, it's generally a good idea to practice each part of the run before getting started. To do this, we will install a practice map, which includes a lot of drills and smaller portions of the full run, and a tool called Mini Practice Kit, or MPK, which simulates larger parts of a real run. Check the description for download links for both of these. Click the .zip link here for the MCSR practice map, and when you click the MPK link, you should be prompted to download this hotbar file. First things first, make sure the game is closed. Then in Prism, right-click your instance, click Edit, then Worlds, and drag in the MCSR practice zip file into here. Just give it a moment to install. Once it's finished, go back to Prism, right-click your instance and go to Folder. Then go into the Minecraft folder and drag in the hotbar file here. Now when you relaunch the game, go to Single Player and search for MCSR. You should see the practice map just here. This map has pretty much everything you need to get started and practice and learn the game. You can have a look around for yourself. Check out the ultimate guide linked below to find out exactly what you should be practicing. Once you're finished, save and quit to Tidal. Then make a new world in creative mode. Then check your controls options for the load hotbar activator key. So in my case it's X. Also note the hotkey you have set for hotbar slot 1, which for me is just the default 1. Now to load MPK, hold your load hotbar key, then press your hotbar slot 1 key. So for me, I'm holding X and then pressing 1. You'll have a few splits to practice by default, such as the endgame split, here called nether exit. To practice the nether exit split, drop the barrel, then place down the command block on hotbar slot 9. Now the first thing a speedrunner usually does after leaving the nether with ender pearls and blaze rods is throw an eye of ender to locate the stronghold, and precisely measure that eye using a strategy called pixel perfect eye measuring, also known as Boateye. This involves just a bit more setup, then we'll go in game and learn how to actually go about measuring eyes with this method. First, make sure that your in-game mouse sensitivity feels exactly how you want it. Once you're happy with the sense, close the game. Then check the description for the download link for NinjaBrainBot, and click the .jar link. Once it's downloaded, just open it and minimize it. If you have any issues trying to run NinjaBrainBot, check the description and download and run jarfix. Also click the link to download Toolscreen, and same again, just download the .jar. If your browser or antivirus blocks the download, allow it if possible. If it doesn't let you download no matter what, or this concerns you for whatever reason, I'll leave an explanation and some alternatives in the description as well. Once you have both things, go to Prism, right-click your instance, Folder, and drag the Toolscreen jar file into here. Then just double-click it to run it. Here, press Continue, and then hit Yes if prompted. Once it's finished, go into the Minecraft folder here, and open the Options text file here. Then press Ctrl F, and look for mouse sensitivity, and just copy the number here. Then go to the sensitivity calculator website linked in the description, and paste in your sensitivity here. Copy the new Minecraft sensitivity, then back in the Options text file, replace your current sensitivity with this one that you've just copied. Make sure to save the file before closing it. Then again in Prism, right-click your instance and go to Folder, then Minecraft, Config, MCSR, then right-click and open StandardSettings.json in a text editor like Notepad. Same again, look for mouse sensitivity and change the sensitivity here. And again, make sure to save. Now we're going to change a few settings in NinjaBrainBot. Change view type to detailed. In advanced, enable show angle errors and display negative chords in a different color. In hotkeys, you should assign a hotkey for both of the change last angle binds. I'm going to use right arrow for plus and left arrow for minus. I'd also recommend giving yourself a reset hotkey. Enable the OBS overlay. In optional features, enable everything here under the General tab. Under angle adjustment, pick number of adjustments and tool resolution. Then in the boat measurement tab, you should enable boat measurements. Under sensitivity 1.13 plus, you should again paste the sensitivity from the sense calculator from earlier and change default boat mode to green boat. Now hopefully you caught everything. Once you're finished, close and reopen NinjaBrainBot, and then click Reset here. This boat icon here should now be green. If so, then you can just minimize NinjaBrainBot and leave it running in the background. Now go back to the sense calculator and copy this first number. Then relaunch the game through Prism. Then you should be prompted to press Ctrl-I to configure Toolscreen. Toolscreen is an app which comes with many useful features for speedrunning. In our case, we're using it for these resize hotkeys here. If you're using these particular hotkeys for anything else, then just move these ones here to something else for now. We'll go over exactly what these are for a bit later. For now though, right-click on the global slider here for sensitivity, then press Ctrl-V to paste the sensitivity here. Finally, turn down the eye zoom slider here to something low. We can adjust these later if you want. Essentially what we've done is lowered your Minecraft sensitivity to something specific, and we've used Toolscreen to then increase it so it feels the same as before. If you decide you want to use a different sensitivity, you should change the slider here in Toolscreen instead of changing it in the in-game settings. It's important that your actual in-game sense doesn't change, since it's what makes Boateye actually work. Now we're finally ready to actually measure eyes. First, make a new world. It's important that you make a new world so standard settings takes effect. And again, use MPK to bring yourself to the nether exit split. Now before measuring an eye in a real run, you should place a boat, then enter and exit it. If you don't have a boat for whatever reason, you should instead stand completely still for 1 second before throwing an eye. If you had a boat beforehand and lost it somehow, ideally make a new one and enter and exit. You should pretty much always be able to do this. I'll leave an explanation as to why exactly all of this is important in the description. Once you're done with all that, craft your Eyes of Ender, throw an eye, wait for it to reach its peak height here, then look directly at it and pause the game. Go to options and change your FOV to 30, then press J. If nothing happens when you press J, press Ctrl-I and check what you changed the eye zoom hotkey to, and press that instead. Now this might look a little jarring. What we're focusing on here is the middle part. You want to line up your crosshair with this part of the ender eye here, the line between the left and middle pixels of the pupil. Quickly unpause and pause the game to make small adjustments. Again, if you find that the sensitivity here is too fast or too slow, you can press Ctrl-I and adjust this slider here. We want to get our crosshair close enough such that the numbers on this window on the left are aligned with the correct pixel. Once you get close enough, take note of which number on which side is lined up. So in my case, the 10 on the left side is lined up. Sometimes the eye might jump between two adjustments without you moving the mouse at all. This is colloquially known as eye wiggle. With the settings that I've given, this is generally nothing to worry about. But if you want to be perfectly accurate, then I've left a resource in the description on the best way to deal with it. Once you're ready, unpause the game and press F3 and C. Now you should see NinjaBrainBot pop up in the corner with your measurement, but we're not done yet. You're going to use the hotkeys you set earlier in NinjaBrainBot to adjust your measurement. So since I had 10 on the left, I'm going to press the left arrow key 10 times. If I had a number on the right, then I would press the right arrow key instead. Now based on the measurement that I've given it, NinjaBrainBot is 100% certain that the stronghold is at these coordinates. Sometimes though, it won't be that certain. If you're not happy with the certainty, then turn 90 degrees in either direction, move a few blocks away, and measure another eye just like before. It's up to you how risky you want to be when trusting NinjaBrainBot's certainty. In my case though, I'm going to press J and turn my FOV back up to go back to normal. Then type /locate stronghold to see if I was correct. Note that the /locate command will be 4 blocks off in both directions every time, so this is perfect. Also note that when you travel to the stronghold in a real run, NinjaBrainBot is expecting you to read from this block line in F3 here. Notice that the negative coordinates on the line above are 1 off. Finally, you should note that the buttons on NinjaBrainBot as it appears here won't do anything if you try to click them. You should ideally use hotkeys instead. So when I mentioned adding a reset hotkey in NinjaBrainBot settings earlier, press that now to clear any old measurements. And the same goes for undo and redo if you want. I would advise that you practice this a fair few times to get used to everything. If you're confident in your ability to measure accurately every time, and you know how to account for eye wiggle as per the link in the description, then you can lower the standard deviation for boat throws to 0.0007 in NinjaBrain bot options here. This will lead to higher confidence values for your measurements. Now, one last thing to note, whilst traveling to the stronghold in a real run, you can look down and press F3C again to update the angle and distance in NinjaBrain bot. Now that we understand eye measurements, let's return to Toolscreen. Again, you can press Ctrl-I to bring up the settings. Essentially what these hotkeys here are doing is resizing the Minecraft window, stretching it to different sizes. Eye zoom stretches the game to be very tall to magnify the eye of Ender. This is what we just used to do Boateye. Now a thin window, which is bound to Z by default, is useful for the mapless buried treasure strategy covered later on in the ultimate speedrunning guide linked below. It also provides some magnifiers, which will help especially if you have a high resolution monitor. A wide window, which is bound to Alt by default, is especially useful in the Nether for essentially removing the fog on the edges of your screen, making it easier to spot faraway structures. There's a lot of things you can change here in Toolscreen, especially when you go to the Advanced tab. I'm not going to explain everything that this tool is capable of. You can check the description for resources on what everything here means. One thing I would highly recommend setting here is an FPS limit in the Settings tab. This will stop Minecraft from starving other things on your computer of GPU, which is especially important if you use a recording software. You should also check out this Input tab, then Keyboard, enable key rebinding, then click Open Keyboard Layout. Here you can set better hotkeys for things that the game has hard-coded, particularly the F3 key. Simply right-click on the key you want to bind F3 to, select Trigger, and then just press F3. If you're someone who doesn't have an F3 key on your keyboard to press, click Custom and find it in this list here. Now to make sure that any rebinds that you make follow the rules, please also add a second rebind which swaps the original F3 key with your new one. So you end up with only one way to press F3. This also goes for any other keys you might want to rebind. If you'd like to submit your runs to speedrun.com, all that's necessary is a full recording of your run, as well as showing the full F3 screen at any point in the run, and including the world seed in the submission description. If you're using the MCSR Fairplay mod, you should see this button in chat after typing /seed. Clicking this and going through each of these screens at the end of your recording is a great way for the verifiers to check if your run is legitimate. If you get a run fast enough, then you'll have to submit extra proof to have your time verified. For 1.16 any percent RSG, any time under 13 minutes requires extra proof. To find out how to properly submit your runs, watch the video linked below. Most people in the Minecraft speedrunning community use OBS Studio to record their runs. After downloading and installing it, you should see something like this. To get Minecraft to show up in OBS, click the plus here in the Sources panel, choose Game Capture, then in this dropdown, choose Capture Specific Window, then here, find the Minecraft window. I would also recommend checking Capture Audio here before clicking OK, then disabling any desktop audio captures you might have in the OBS audio settings here. You can also set a microphone here if you want. Once you're ready, click Start Recording. And once you're finished, you can go to File, then Show Recordings. If you're having any trouble with OBS, check the extra OBS tips and the FAQ section at the bottom of the text guide. Now, as mentioned previously, having MCSR Ranked installed on your instance of the game will make your run unverifiable because it affects vanilla gameplay. To create a separate instance without Ranked, right-click your Ranked instance in Prism and copy it. Give it a different name. Once it's copied, right-click it and select Edit, then Mods, then right-click and remove MCSR Ranked. Now, if you want to play Ranked, you would open this instance on the left, and if you wanted to play for the speedrun.com leaderboard, you would open this one on the right. If you're having any other issues at all with anything I've mentioned, first check the text guide below for any possible solutions. Otherwise, join the Minecraft Java speedrunning Discord server and ask for help in the public help channel for further support. If you haven't already, check out the rest of Curryway's ultimate speedrunning guide linked below to start actually learning the speedrun.